Morning, folks. Hey, today's lesson is how to catch a cyber stalker. You know, I'm embarrassed to say that I was Creek Squad from way back when, followed Ryan since the Vine days. And I've witnessed many a troll. Uh, and I've saw and maybe even participated in some of the antics that would take place when people were being trolled. And as long as they were willing participants and it was all in good fun, I felt it was harmless. But I also know exactly what to expect if I decided to bust up Church's balls for going on the internet stoned out of his mind and destroying people's lives, real people with real lives. You know, a woman, an underage girl, who didn't ask for anything to just be bombarded by a bunch of lunatics. So I knew exactly what to expect. So before I opened my mouth, I very methodically gathered receipts on all the common players that I've seen ever since Upchurch trolled somebody. I knew exactly the ones that would be nasty and what their habits would be because I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it to Lacquer Thinner Larry, and I've seen them do it to Johnny Gobble. I've seen him do it to the artist that got his artwork destroyed. I've seen him do it to just countless people. So I know the mode of operandum and I know the players very well. So I methodically gathered receipts long before I decided to open my mouth. And I had my ducks in a row, as you would say. And I want to explain if you're being cyberbullied and you're having a little trouble identifying who it is that's doing this to you because they're using a faceless coward account on YouTube or Instagram. Here's how you catch them, folks. Okay. These kids are going to learn a little bit of wisdom here today. You see, the human animal, we are very habitual. We tend to do the same things. We tend to build habits, quirks about us that are just always there. I'll tell you a little story about a guy. There was a website called Vloggerheads years ago, and what Vloggerheads was a community that started right after YouTube was bought by Google. So Google bought YouTube, and they started all this copyright shit, and they started this partner program, and there was a mass exodus from YouTube onto a site called Vloggerheads, which at that time was a competitor to YouTube. Before YouTube was huge. Um, how YouTube worked in those days was you uploaded a video, and if it got the most thumbs up, it was the number one video, and chronological order right on down. So you would hit the YouTube page, and the video that was getting the most comments was right at the top. And they went on down the line. There was no politics. There was no bullshit. There was no algorithms. There was no nothing. Just people deciding what they wanted to hear. Right? Awesome setup. Right? And if YouTube would have kept it that way, okay, where would we be today? But they didn't. They turned it into a profit machine. And soon politics came into play, and YouTube decided who you got to see and who was to be more popular and who was to be promoted and who wasn't. When in those early days, the promotion was just the people saying, "I like this one." Anyway, not to go too far in the weeds there were a lot of nefarious players on Vloggerheads. And it was a very liberal site, if you will. And anyone that dared to express a conservative opinion, they would start getting trolled. And so we saw a lot of people get messed with. And through that, I developed a way to catch some of these people because it just pissed me off. When Psychobabble mad, you might want to look out, right? So here's how you do it, folks. One fella in particular that was a really big player in all the trolling that was taking place on Bloggerheads would always end each of his comments with "be well" and then a tilde key. Okay. So at the end of his sentence, he would say, and he might say, your nose is big and your feet stink. Be well, tilde key, right? So I figured, well, fuck, if he does that all the time here, he probably does that all the time everywhere, right? So I just went to Google and I typed "be well" tilde key. Took me right to his Facebook page with his real profile because that is exactly the way he commented on his actual Facebook page. So now he wasn't anonymous anymore. I had his real name and his real face. That brings us to today. Like I said, I have very methodically gathered the receipts on Crack Squad long before I decided to open my mouth because I knew exactly what to expect from them. Some that were using VPNs I couldn't bait and get their IP, so you can get their public IP address and you can find out what part of the country they're in, clear down to maybe the neighborhood they live in, right? And so then it's kind of easy to start deciphering who they might be, and you can put two and two together and you can expose them, right? But some of them you can't do that, right? Man, they're a little bit more clever than your average troll. So how do you catch those guys? Well, you very carefully read their comments and look for words that they use frequently. Let's say simpleton, or let's say whatever, crackhead, or let's say comma, exclamation point, or exclamation point, period. Just look for habits that they do all the time. And you will find that they also use those same habits on their real life accounts on Facebook and Instagram, and even on their primary YouTube account, not just their sock account. And I've caught 6 crack squatters using that method. I was able to get full receipts on them, where they work, where their real name, their mom, everything. And here they were using a VPN. And I still got them using their own stupid little habits and their own stupid little insult words and their own stupid little ways of typing. So, folks, use that if you need to find somebody. I mean, it's quite simple. If they're choosing to use a certain type of words or a phrase, or spelling a word a certain way, or ending their sentences a certain way, trust me, that's a habit, and they will have used that same habit on their real account on any of their other social media. I even found them on Twitter just by using that simple equation. So I hope that helps some of you out. If you got somebody bothering you might want to give that a try. It's pretty easy to find them that way. And, Crack Squad, let this be a lesson to you. Okay, now, for some of you that are like, "How dare you? This is so wrong. You must..." No. If you go outside of YouTube trying to bother me or anybody I care about, there'll be no mercy on you at all. None. You deserve no mercy and you'll get no mercy. And there ain't nobody going to feel sorry for you. And if this lady gets arrested, let me promise you something. I'm going to post the warrant on my community page. I'm going to post the mugshot on my community page, and I'm going to post the court date on my community page. And are you next? I'm not playing with you guys. I'm on the side of right. What Ryan Upchurch did to these people was wrong. Very wrong. What a lot of you have been doing is very, very wrong. I take no shame in busting your balls. I'm actually quite proud of it. There's nothing, not one thing in my past that I'm ashamed of, nor should I be ashamed of. So there's just nothing you can do to me. Your shit's going to bounce off of me, and you just ain't nothing you can do. I'm not afraid of you. Don't care. Period. So you want to mess with me outside of YouTube, I will handily, handily hand your ass to you. I'm just not kidding about that. It's not even open for debate. It just blows my mind the level that you twerps will go to virtue signal to a celebrity that would call the police on you if you showed up at his house. It's just sad to see. And, you guys might want to try being on the side of right because it makes you feel good, number one, and makes you bulletproof. When you're on the side of right, you're bulletproof. You got the whole community behind you. You got the whole world behind you. The only people that aren't behind you are very uber minorities that are just faceless cowards. And nobody cares about the faceless cowards. The faceless cowards are nobody. So that be your lesson today from Psychobabble, how to handle a cyber bully, a cyber stalker. That particular lady there took it upon herself to just start hassling random people with the same last name on Facebook. And just relentlessly. And one of them got mad enough to call the police because they don't even, the one lady she was bothering. So the lady says to me, I didn't even really know what they were talking about when they were talking about YouTube. This lady really don't even pay no attention to YouTube. So all of a sudden, here's this nut job questioning her something about YouTube and a podcast or something. And she's like, what are you talking about? And so, yeah, she called the cops because she's got two little kids in the house. And I was trying to figure out because this lady didn't even have a name, anything like mine, right? And so I asked the cop, I said, well, why were they bothering her? And he said, well, because her boyfriend's got the same last name as you. Hey, crack squad. You guys suck, man. You guys suck. Anyway, enjoy your day, folks. Looks like the sun's going to be shining. I might throw together a video. We went flea marketing yesterday and saw some cool shit. Anyway, we'll see you later today.